Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Stream of Chaos. My name is James, and I am the Keeper of Arcane Lore for today's game of Call of Cthulhu 7th Edition. We are playing through Cults of Cthulhu, which is a fantastic sourcebook and collection of scenarios. It recently won an Emmy, and you should absolutely pick it up from chaosium.com or from your friendly local game store. I'm joined by our fantastic cast of players and their brilliant characters, and I will throw to them in just a moment to introduce themselves. But first of all, I would like to say a very quick thank you to Roll20 and to Sirenscape, both tools which we use to improve our game. Let's throw across to the cast. Art, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Art, and between last week and this week, I've forgotten what we were doing.
Oh.
So, no, I am playing Dr. Franklin Smythe, who is a medical practitioner slash occultist, who has some interesting proclivities. He is I suppose, the closest that we have to a nerd of the group, and has recently come off the back of saving Ethel's life.
Exactly. Let me ask you a quick question. When you did save Ethel's life, once you're actually in the process of doing medicine, are you just as creepy doing the medicine as when you're not? Or is there kind of a veneer? Because we got a little hint of like this sort of kindness and tenderness when you were trying to help out.
I mean, I don't know that Dr. Smythe has been anything other than, like, tender and kind. He's just weird. So, like, you know, people's reaction to Dr. Smythe is not necessarily any indication of how cruel he is. I think it's, there is always a curiosity and fascination that follows Smythe everywhere, and that to some people may indeed be creepy, in as much as, you know, if you're peeling someone open to try and kind of put them back together again and being like, no, yes, the rib cage is a little more fractured than I would expect in this situation. Like, that could come across as very creepy if, you know, you're doing that kind of stuff. But no, I think Smythe has always been a caring in his own weird way.
Yeah. Right. Just another friendly doctor. Excellent. Thank you, Art. Let's throw across to Jackson. That's you.
Me. That's me. I'm Jackson, and I'm playing Mandy Jenkins.
You sure?
He's, what? I forgot my character's name.
No. Sure, you're yourself, I think, was the idea. You are Mandy Jenkins. Please continue.
I said I'm playing Mandy Jenkins. Didn't I say? What did I say?
No, you were entirely right. It was a bit.
Well, then stop bothering me. I can't deal with this. Oh, you shattered any self-confidence I had, which is perfect. Playing Mandy Jenkins, who is a private detective, distinctly lacking in competence, and I can't wait.
Yep, everything's good. Now, you were paid last session to try and protect another one of the characters at all costs. Well, you are hired. You were
paid to succeed.
And succeed I did by shooting several fish people.
That's fucking sweet.
Dead.
You did in an uncharacteristic display of confidence for Mandy. Having, you know, after this disaster, after the disaster of the chaos of last session, are you still going to hold true to the bargain that was made?
Yeah, that's my rent for the next month. Let's make that too.
All right, perfect then. Let's throw across to Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm playing Ethel Walters, former criminal, current godbotherer, also dying.
Yeah, you might also be formally alive very quickly.
Soon to be formally alive, maybe. Dr. Smythe has an excellent bedside manner and is a very competent physician, and I have every faith in his abilities to help me not die.
You know, a lot of people after they have.
If I die, it's my fault.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you didn't pull up your bootstraps or pull up the hanging bits of flesh. You know, a lot of people when they have a serious, you know, injury, they have a near-death experience, they can turn towards the Lord. You are already turned towards the Lord. So are you going to change it some other way?
Going home.
Exactly. Okay, brilliant. And last but not least, throwing across to Dave.
G'day, my name is Dave, and I am playing Suzanne Beasley. I work for the mob, and I'm here to find some missing stuff. I'm also continuing to show that credit rating is the strongest power in this game, and I'll sort of buy off players as I can.
It's worked so far. You've got a dedicated bodyguard, and you're also, most critically, the only person with a car, which means
that's true.
Yeah, considering the hospital is probably a pretty exciting destination, you're going to be in high demand. So a quick reminder for those of you who are just joining us or who want a quick refresher on the story, our investigators are a collection of people who are turned to in times of great need, and they are investigating the disappearance of a taxi driver named Levi Diaz on behalf of his daughter. They managed to track the disappearance to a strange church, a strange cult called the Society of the Angelic Ones, and this cult appears to have all kinds of mysterious involvements with disappearances across the city of Los Angeles. Our investigators broke into the church. They got into a safe where they found a bunch of legal documentation that indicated that there was a branch or an element of the church that existed in a franchise. Yeah, exactly. A side hustle of the church that existed in a series of beach houses along the California coast. So they went out to check that place out, where they encountered a bunch of strange fish people, deep ones. And although they managed to dispatch most of them and chase the others away back into the ocean, they paid for it pretty dearly. So we will pick back up the story as our 3 initial investigators and...
I think we've lost you, James.
We lost James?
No, we're back.
Sound?
Oh, no, dear me. Sorry, a little bit of unstable internet there. What a shame. We'll jump back into the story as we have our investigators all gathered around. Ethel, you are on the floor wounded. You are inside the beach house, which is filled with all the chaos of combat. Once again, there is a table nearby that is completely covered with plans and documentation, a real hoard of information. What is everyone's initial instinct? What are you doing? I feel like, Doctor, you've got to have a couple of plans. Are you going to treat here? Are you going to try and rush Ethel to the hospital? You've got a table covered in fish guts downstairs. That's probably, you're not going to spoil it by getting blood on the surface.
No, but I wouldn't say it's particularly sanitary.
Please don't treat me on the fish gut table.
I wasn't planning to. It's fine.
That had a real rhythm to it. Please don't treat me on the fish gut table. There's a tune in there. There's a bop.
We'll get in contact
Is
with
it a bop or a
Sirenscape.
banger?
I bet that was a bop.
I'm parked nearby. Why don't we move Miss Walters into the vehicle and take her to a hospital as soon as possible? I'm not casting aspersions on your ability, Dr. Smythe, but I think this requires a more sanitary place. Otherwise, I know some quiet locations. If you're confident in operating, I can take you somewhere clean where we won't be noticed for a little while.
Well, how far away from the main area that we were in before? Because I don't remember anywhere that we are.
We chivied across into the cliffs. But it was kind of a roundabout way to get under the houses. So I imagine if we just punch out the door, Jim, we're a short sprint to the beach side.
You're exactly right. You can sprint through out the main doors and get to the car in
Sorry, let me
clarify.
I'm not interested about how far away from the vehicle we are. I'm wondering how far away from, I think it was Santa Monica we were in originally, that we came here, and now, how far away are we from, the main city? Is the hospital in the main city?
You are a little bit up the coast, but not too far. It's going to be depending on how lead-footed you are, a 15-minute drive, something like that, to get to the hospital.
Right. I mean, if the hospital and Dr. Smythe's place are in the same area, I would recommend my...
You've got a surgery, right?
Yeah.
Home surgery. Yeah.
Kind of. But yes, I have an operating, a sanitary area that I can do operations in. Obviously, I don't get the assistance of medical professionals outside of my own competency, but that is an option.
You can have the assistance of other professionals.
Mandy's feeling lucky.
How are you with the sight of large amounts of blood and broken bone and viscera?
That was Jackson commenting on that. Mandy is like off in the corner where the dead fish folk are, like just shocked at his own kind of prowess and accomplishments. And he's just kind of like repeatedly pulling his gun out of the holster and being like,
amazing.
and
Okay,
then like kicking over some of the fish cokes.
What an image.
I'm gonna walk over to Mandy and compliment first of all on his excellent ability, and then say, Mr. Jenkins, why don't you come with me and fetch the car? We'll bring it over, and Dr. Smythe, if you can prepare Miss Walters to leave.
Yeah. It's a good idea, just in case there are any other fish folk out there.
I'm gonna reload my single shot Derringer and head for the door.
Okay. So the two of you can head outside. You will be able to collect your car and pull it back along. There is no activity that you can see from the other beach houses when you return with the vehicle, and the sea that you know now contains these strange fish-like humanoid hybrids is mercifully quiet. Inside, you are preparing Ethel to be moved. Ethel, you're still conscious because you heroically continued to succeed on all of your checks. So you're really feeling the pain at this point. Is there anything that you're doing? Is there anything that you're yelling? Is there anything that you're saying?
I think Ethel's just breathing through her teeth like an injured bull, just that kind of almost huffing, not yelling, not swearing, no longer praying, but it's just like, okay, that's a mostly out, it's fine.
Yeah.
I would like to open, well, I've got my bag next to me. I'd like to pull out a small wooden dowel and hand it to Ethel and say, you may want to put this between your teeth. Cracking one of those will make your life more unpleasant than it currently is, and I assume you don't.
You're just going to take it off
that.
and put it in her teeth with halfway through the sentence. It's like, oh.
Brilliant.
It gives a bit because it is soft wood for this purpose.
You hear the motor outside rumble as the car approaches, and a few moments later, your two allies are going to be able to run into the room. Ethel is a big woman. She is very broad and muscular and large. It's going to probably take all three of you, I imagine, to move her, and you drag her into the car, place her down. You can all start loading in. Now, you also have this table that is covered with information. That's a pretty obvious one, but you don't know what else is in the house. Are you delaying heading to the hospital, or sorry, more specifically heading to Dr. Smythe's house to do any searching? You want to grab anything, or?
I think Ethel will probably grind out, I'm good. Get as much stuff as you can.
I've already got a whole bunch of stuff in my pockets.
Yes, but you didn't look at any of it.
You really just grabbed and shoved stuff into your pockets.
I mean, what else are we going to do?
I'd definitely like to do a little canvassing of the area.
I am
Probably
going to continue to attend to Ethel, so should any kind of roles be required, I will be doing my best to assist. Okay, well, here's what we're going to do then. You can dive away, Suzanne, and you can start looking through everything. Mandy,
I'll help.
Okay, so the two of you can head over and you can start looking through stuff. You'll tell me exactly what angle you want to take, whether you want to search some of the other houses, whether you want to go into the caves below and start searching through there, whether you just want to be going and gathering everything on the table, searching for hidden places in the house. You can split up or you can work together to get a bonus die. But first of all, Doctor, could I please get you to make a medicine check? This isn't going to be to stabilize Ethel, so don't worry about failing this and accidentally killing her, but the role here is going to be, can you buy the others a pretty significant amount of time, because you could potentially give them a bonus die or something like that in their attempts to search.
Good.
Not fantastic. 4 points of luck. The result for this, if you succeed, you'll grant them both a bonus die in their searches because they've got enough time. They're not under pressure. Yeah. They're not hearing screams of panic and pain coming from the car.
No.
Oh.
Okay. Saving the luck. Good call.
Yeah, just on, because I'm going to have to do a proper I have 17. Do you want Ethel to live or die?
Exactly, yeah. So, two of you then, you dart back into the house. What's your trajectory? Where do you want to look?
I'm gonna take the lead because I'm the private investigator, so I know what to do, and that's ask Suzanne what she thinks.
So I'm gonna head across. You mentioned there was a table full of like stuff, good things.
Absolutely.
I've got accounting. I've done some numbering nonsense. I'm not great at it, but what I'm going to do is go over the information we've got currently and see if it looks like we're missing anything, if there's more around. Because what I'm actually looking for is some contraband that was stolen from us that's been hidden somewhere. I want to see if there's like records of things being held in warehouses around here, that sort of thing, and just get a sense for what we've actually gathered so far.
Absolutely. You can make an accounting check, so go ahead and start with that. There's going to be result, like just taking this action is going to help you, but going over things. But let's see how close you get to things. Yeah, not fantastic.
I'll spend 10. It's
brilliant.
So call that a success.
Okay, you start going through all the documentation on the table, muttering to yourself. This is incredibly useful. It is basically a copy of everything that was inside the safe back at the Church of the Society of the Angelic Ones, but there is also additional information here. There is plans.
I don't know what was inside the safe.
Yes, I'll go through through the full scope of it, but basically. There's additional information that is also put together by Mr. Mann and his Deep One allies. There is records of deliveries, transactions, a bunch of logistical information here. For you, Dave, the broad scope, and we will go into more detail in this because once you're out in the area, I'm presuming you're going to take some of this stuff with you. You'll be sitting down once you're inside Dr. Smythe's surgery. You'll be going over all of it and you'll be planning. There is a significant ritual being planned by the Society of the Angelic Ones, and it is going to take place in an area of land at the edge of the Angeles National Forest, just outside of Los Angeles. And it is set to occur in 2 days, at the evening of the day that will come in 2 days. There is a bunch of properties, and you can track all of them and sort of get an exact lie of the land that denote where it is. There's like a gas station that's owned near there, as well as a bunch of like farm paddocks and things like that. But more particularly, there is additional plans that look like they are being put in place by Carl Mann. We'll go into this deeper, as I said, but it looks like the Deep Ones had a slightly different plan to what the Society of the Angelic Ones had. They weren't necessarily working together. In fact, you think they might have been hostile. You are going to be able to gather all of the information from here to be able to cross-reference it further back once you get to Dr. Smythes, and you can read through this in detail.
Just to clarify then something, so the ones that yoinked my shit, I remember them being a bit fishy.
Yes.
Correct? So
you are absolutely correct.
Okay. Second question, the place where they're doing the ritual, big bodies of water nearby, or is this kind of landlocked?
It's rather far inland, but okay. You mentioned the stuff that you're trying to recover.
Yeah.
Those artifacts would be referenced in this material.
Oh, they are directly
they are directly referenced in here. Okay. There is not a location given for them, but they are listed, and we will go into more detail.
Is there a description of them provided, or
Absolutely.
A small? I'm just going to rip one of those out as we go, and later on I'll give it to Mr. Jenkins and let him know this is what we're looking for. But I'll do that later. So.
Excellent. You tear out a small description, you grab all the papers, you'll be able to move back towards the car. Mandy, what are you doing during this time?
Well, if Suzanne's got the... sorry, Suzanne or Miss Beasley?
Miss Beasley, please.
But that's fine.
Thank you.
If Miss Beasley is on the information side of things, Mandy's going to have a look around for any more weapons, because we were getting shot at, right?
No one fired at you.
No, you were
attacked by the freaky fish.
They can't get the webs through the
just
trigger
like
guard.
that.
No,
true.
but
man,
weapons are a pretty good call. Yeah, make for me a spot hidden check.
Say that.
Good detective. Private investigator, whatever.
One of the best.
You go through the entire house, top to bottom, and like I said, this place has a little bit of the feel of a display home.
Not just weapons. I meant, intriguing items and artifacts and miscellanea and paraphernalia.
Sure.
Including, but not limited to weapons.
Yes, of
Jackson's
course. Now that you've got the success, broaden the scope a little bit. No, that's fine. You go through the house. As I mentioned, this building has the feel of a display home that's been moved into and then been treated very badly. There is not a lot of personal accoutrements, things like that. But upstairs, in the room that you could hear the conversation between Carl Mann and one of the other deep ones coming from, there is a huge set of cupboards that are standing open, and you'll find a couple of large duffel bags and foot lockers there.
Duffel bag.
And opening them up, not in a state of readiness, like they're disassembled and like unprepared. There is quite a bit of, I guess you would say, like surplus military equipment. There's some unmade rifles. There's a couple of thick, heavy leather coats that have been folded up and prepared. There's like knives and boots. None of it in a sort of easily accessible situation where the deep ones would have like grabbed it as they were tearing downstairs. But that's what you find. That said, with only a regular success, you do not get time to go through the house in detail, but you have essentially bags of gear that if you want to take these with you, later on you would be able to pick some items out of the the suite from the investigator's handbook or the keeper's handbook and say, I want this. Grenades is a good point. May, did you want to make a luck check? We'll see if there's any grenades.
Yeah, go on.
That always works well.
No.
Not today. Fish folk did not like grenades.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll need any of this stuff. We'll probably be able to solve our problems with wit and cunning. So we could probably leave all the military gear behind.
Rifles, pistols, nothing you're interested in, Mandy?
Oh, it's all mine. Let's get it out of there.
You scoop it up. So between all of that, you as you're like coming downstairs reconciling your effects, you will hear Dr. Smythe yell from outside, really got to get moving. You'll be able to all leave, pile into the car, spin around and drive down towards Dr. Smythe's home, where you'll be able to perform treatment, leaving the beach house behind you. Ethel, it's for you a really long and horrible drive.
Yeah, it
you were just in pain the entire time.
Yeah,
you were miserable. You were sick. Do you want to describe the ambience of the trip? I think that you're sort of the focal point of the whole thing.
Just kind of a shivering low growl the whole time. She's just in the back. I'm assuming like probably not laid out. There's not going to be enough space, but just kind of sitting slumped, slumped down as far as possible. Makeshift bandages around her middle where the chunk was taken out of her, just going and just like white knuckling kind of her knees or her hand back probably on her knees and just going the whole way.
It's very wounded animal as you kind of groan. Car whips along at top speed. I presume you're driving, Miss Beasley?
Yeah, I would be. I've also been pretty much living out of this car for the last 3 or 4 days during my stakeout, so I'll ask you all to ignore the McDonald's wrappers and shit that's gathered all at the floor. I'm a competent driver. I'm not exactly a racer, so I will... We'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah.
You're also not exactly sure where Dr. Smythe's home is, so you have to be directed from the back seat. I assume you're sitting with your patient doctor. Eventually, though, you hit the traffic of Los Angeles and then finally make it up towards Dr. Smythe's home. You'll be able to pull in. We got a brief description of your house a couple of sessions ago, but do you want to go into a bit more detail and tell us maybe about your surgery as well that's attached as we have the investigators piling out and rushing inside?
Yes, indeed. So the general vibe is of a kind of like slightly worn funeral home. Everything is in shades of sort of like, grays and blacks. There's sort of heavy, like embroidered curtains with frayed tassels. There are a handful of quite nicely made like lace doilies around the place with like various potpourri and sort of, vases full of dried twigs. A very, very stern portrait of the good doctor's, you assume, family, and the doctor is a much younger child, looking just as fucking creepy.
Like, do all the family members like have the same
the Addams
face?
family portrait.
Yeah, it's the Addams family portrait. Essentially, just assume this is the Addams family 100%. The first time we were here, you were explicitly told not to go down into the sort of like the basement. This will be where we're going. So the good doctor will sort of lead or take everyone down, unlock the sort of relatively heavy door, because there's a lot of expensive and pointy equipment in here. And you will walk into a space that is very clean, very neat, slightly too chilly, because it is much easier to maintain temperature underground. And there is like a sort of like a metal bench. There is like various sort of cupboards and things. There may be a sort of cupboard hatch that's like in a wall that's like a little out of place. For anyone who's been in a morgue, that's what it is. And
You've been in a morgue? Huh?
What?
Have you been in a morgue?
What?
You just said that like you're someone who's been in a morgue.
You haven't?
What?
Multiple
I
people.
woke up in a morgue.
Hush. Don't give away all my secrets. So we'll like get them to lay Ethel down on the bench, on the metal bench. And there's like strong lighting above that is like able to be directed. So it's and then he'll pull over a small like trolley, again metal with a bunch of equipment like neatly laid out on it, and says, if either of you have any kind of abilities with medicine or
I'm pretty good at holding the torch.
I have not a jot, but just tell us where you need us to go and what to do.
How are both of you with the sight of blood?
Oh, love it.
And or the smell?
We'll be fine. We'll get through this. Miss Walters is the one in peril, although Miss Beasley is very white.
Well, in that case, I think it would be best. I hope you don't take this personally, Miss Walters, if the two of you could hold the good woman down.
Not at all. I actually have pretty decent first aid. Just saying.
God
helps those who help themselves.
Now, Miss Walters, I leave this entirely in your hands as a lady of faith. Do you wish to remain conscious, or would you prefer to go away for a while?
You ain't knocking me out with any shit.
That's why I asked. And then Smythe will crack each of his fingers individually.
Yeah.
Sort of do.
Would you like me to do that for the camera? Because
no. Look at that. Listen to that ASMR.
I apologize. Probably should have. Yeah. And then like grabs the tools and goes to work.
Perfect. All right. The four of you are in a safe place now, so we are going to pull slightly back. I'll give you some time to go over plans and hit you with all the information. There are a couple of scenes that have to happen before, obviously. The most
Would you give me some health too?
Yeah, well, exactly. So let's start with that.
Greedy.
Yeah. All right. So Ethel, you're in a pretty bad way. You have been very seriously injured.
0.
So what we're going to do, we're going to start. Dr. Smythe, can you please make a medicine check to try and both stabilize and restore some hit points to Ethel?
Do I have any kind of bonuses for being in my own space with my own tools and with the assistance of these two holding Ethel down because she's not knocked out? Or are we going with straight rolls? Just asking.
At this stage, it's just going to be a straight roll. You were in your surgery and you were comfortable, but you also had to rush Ethel here in not fantastic condition. So it's just going to be a straight roll to start off with. Ethel,
She dies.
Yeah, I know, it's fine. I love you, but I know it's fine. What's the wound again? She's like had a
intestines out.
Yeah, a huge kind of like claw ravaged mark.
I'm not a doctor. But...
I realize this is a very weird question to ask, but I feel like for narrative purposes, are the intestines intact or just spilling out, or
I think it's just like the big stomach wound kind of situation where it's like you can pack them back in for now. But there's no they're not perforated. It's just that they're excited to be out in the world. It's a big adventure for them.
Amazing. Well, luckily, as far as I understand it, internal organs don't have a lot of nerves in terms of stuff. So
and the incision's already there for you.
Yeah. So in terms of actually getting in there and cleaning stuff up, that's actually not going to be too bad. It's going to be all the stitching you back together and maybe resetting some bones. It's going to suck.
At the same time, internal organs are called internal organs.
Yes, they really shouldn't be where they are right now.
No.
But the whole is good because, as we know, you recently went licking your scalpel, so that's very unsanitary. So anyway, please make your...
I have more than one scalpel, Jim.
That's his licking scalpel.
There's two different, very clearly labeled cabinets.
Scalpel.
I have my licking scalpel. I have my food scalpel. I've got my newspaper scalpel.
Then there's the annoying hairs on the side of your neck scalpel, the eyebrow trimming scalpel,
apple peeling scalpel.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's that can be the food scalpel. Although I guess you don't want to mix meat and
you got to have the meat scalpel.
Okay, so meat scalpel.
Maybe we should go to the hospital really quickly.
Today's episode brought to you by Dollar Scalpel Club. Make a medicine check.
Very good.
Okay.
Fucking god damn it. Hell yeah.
Well, that's not bad.
You are really good at this. Okay. Fantastic. All right, with a critical success on medicine is ridiculous. Oh my god.
We got 2d4?
I have
a bunch of extremes last time.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't get a critical though, but yay.
Well, I mean, do you do impale healing? If any doctor
oh my god, that'd be amazing.
It'll be Dr. Smythe. So 1d4 plus 4?
Here's what I was gonna do, right? Obviously, Ethel is the fighter of this group, and spoiler alert for all the info that you're gonna go through, you've got some fighting coming. So what I was gonna say that you're gonna stabilize. You're going to stabilize Ethel mechanically as per the rules, which means that you would have added 1d3, and that would have been the medical effect. But Ethel still would have had a major wound, which, while you're still able to fight, it's a really serious penalty. So that's not good. What I was going to suggest on top was that if you wanted to make a subsequent medicine check, you could try some for want of a better word, jury rigging. You could really just pile Ethel up with, a bunch of experimental surgery, maybe some weird medicines, and make sure that she's able to go, restore some additional health, and negate the effects of the major wound.
I'm assuming you're just going to let me skip to the end of that whole thing?
With a 0-1, I think you got to get close at least. I'll tell you what. Restore 3 points to start with. Right?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then what we are going to do is we're going to say that you can either suppress the major wound, so that is going to take away the penalty for taking damage, and restore a further D3, or if you would like instead, you can restore. Let's go with a D6, so a higher level of restored health. But that means that if Ethel takes damage, she will need to make Constitution checks to be able to stay up. Now that said, Ethel, I have one other suggestion. If you are willing to mortgage your long-term health.
Yes.
I like that you said if you're willing. Yeah. I'm like, no, just go ahead with whatever that was.
Okay, so you have like some wild ideas, Dr. Smythe, and you've never had a volunteer who would be willing for this kind of treatment before, but basically you've got to get going. So you're like badly, like not bad. You're doing it very well and expertly, but you are setting limbs in ways that they shouldn't be set. From all the like damage. You were like just.
I don't think those are broken.
Yeah. Well, you got beat up beforehand in the battle.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I got a shit kicked out of me before I got gored.
Yeah, you are strapped together, held together with tape and butcher's paper. At this point, so roll for me a D6.
Inspector Gadget.
Oh, me? Okay. Sorry. Yep. So like, just to clarify, Ethel's already got the D3.
You've got 3 hit points healed. Your major wound will be suppressed.
Is gone, and we're gonna do the D6.
We're gonna do a D6 of additional healing.
How is that? Oh, that was the. Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right,
so is it get rid of major wound and a D6 healing?
Yeah. So the standard would be get rid of a D3. Heal a D3. I was going to do a subsequent medical roll for like basically we have to get ready for a fight. I'm going to strap you together. And if Ethel is willing to sort of from a narrative perspective, this is not like this is going to cost down the road if she survives further. Can apply both.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. I'm in.
I think that's actually possibly an option that Dr. Smythe will give Ethel directly and say, I can make this clean, or I can make it, I can make it effective, or I can make it permanent. And like clean and permanent, or I can make it effective, but not as clean.
Just get me through to the end of the weekend and that ritual and we'll be fine.
All right. Forgive me,
Make
Miss
sure I can
Walter.
have your backs while that ritual's going down, and that's it. That's all that matters.
All right. Well, forgive me then, Miss Walters. This is going to hurt. And there is a sickening crunch.
Oh, yeah.
Extra 4.
Oh,
Nice.
Fantastic. So you're going to have 7 hit points, no major wound, and you have a couple of days before the ritual itself. You may see combat before then, but we'll see.
But that's kind of the goal, is like if there is something that, unless I'm gored again prior to, I could theoretically make it to the ritual and help my friends stay alive.
There is absolutely. Am I allowed to say what I did?
Sure, go ahead.
So the any fractured bones will have been reinforced. There were absolutely
early steel pins.
Yeah. And that would have. You can feel bone, so that would have stung a lot. I would have probably had to take some flesh from another area of you to help kind of cover. It's not enough to have been sort of solid, but it's at least enough to sort of cover the fact that you did have a chunk taken out of you. The various crunches are other kinds of reinforcement on bones around the area that maybe didn't break, but just to kind of keep everything contained. And then a fair amount of stitching, reinforced stitching. So there is, for
not the dissolvable kind.
No, there is absolutely a way that you can suture flesh together so that it heals neatly and nicely, and Smythe would know how to do that. For aesthetic reasons. This is just, I am holding you together. I'm going to give this particular area the ability to take a standard hit. But what that does mean is you are going to have some fucking gnarly scar tissue that may impede your movement should this actually heal fully without us going back in and possibly doing like more intensive surgery. So, you know, if you live and Dr. Smythe doesn't and you don't get this looked at, you'll live. It just might be really not fun.
Art does such a good job researching their RPG characters. You learn so much when you play an RPG with Art. I think that's really something.
No.
So much medicine. Excellent. All right.
It's fascinating and really creepy, and I love it.
Your work is going to take a while, and you're not going to need help from Miss Beasley and from Mandy the entire time. So after the initial stages, the two of you can step away. Like I said, we'll jump forward to a point where it's been enough time for everybody to kind of heal, rest, and wake up. I'll go through all of the information that you have in the various papers that you've collected. But I think that, first of all, there might be a scene between Dave and Mandy. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, just like offering this as a thing for both Dave and Jackson as characters. Smythe is not doing nice things to Ethel, so if you want, like, you know, I don't know how your sanity holds up with that kind of thing, but it is a lot of blood, there's a lot of crunching, there's a fair amount of just like viscera on the table, because
there's definitely a point where Ethel's kind of low animal grunting just becomes first the kind of curse words that even I would not repeat even on this stream, and then just shrieking.
The two of, well, it sounds like, do the two of you make your excuses and leave feeling sick, or would you like to remain and make a horrified sanity check?
Oh, I think I left something upstairs.
It was very early on in the process. Miss Beasley stopped holding down Ethel Walter's hand. It was just sort of staring at a wall, trying to count tiles. So she didn't collapse.
All right. It sounds like the two of you get out pretty quickly then, leaving the horrible action downstairs. I
have leather straps. It's fine.
It's fine. We got this.
Brilliant. You have this description of the artifacts that were stolen from you, Miss Beasley, or more specific, that was stolen from your employer. They are two sculptures, small statuettes, relics, idols, some would say, and they were purchased from a collection coming from the UK. If this you wouldn't pick this, and neither of your characters would at this stage, but for the purpose of cinematic integrity, as you kind of if you hand over this description, the items that were stolen from Lombardo Shipping were the idols that were seen and discovered in the first scenario of Cults of Cthulhu. So you've tracked not necessarily the characters, but the journey of these objects. There you go.
The ones we get them trying to chuck into a river or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. So they ended up at some point in the hands of Jackson's mad professor, and for reasons unknown, now find their way here several decades later.
There you go.
So, did you want to hand the paper over to Mandy? Is there anything else you want to go over with him?
Yeah, if there's
I think I passed the audition, right?
Oh, with flying colors, Mr. Jenkins. I was very impressed with how you handled yourself, and in particular, with how you dispatched of those creatures, for lack of a better word. Yeah. Have you encountered those before? Those strange men?
I don't think so, right, Jim? I mean, we're investigators, but
you're investigators, but I don't think you've ever encountered deep ones before. You've seen undisclosed various things in the past, which have been from the mythos, but you've not encountered this particular threat.
Yeah, look, the world's a lot bigger than you learn about in school. I understand that, but no, not these jokers.
You handled yourself much better than others I've seen. I mentioned that I had some things stolen from me. These are descriptions of what I'm looking for. And to give you some context so that you can best fulfill your duties, the men that were protecting these died screaming. when things like those came through the door and tore them to shreds. Now, you and Miss Walters stood your ground, and I'm beyond impressed. I have to ask, how did you come to be in this line of work? It's strange companions that you keep. Your heroics are borderline suicidal.
Well, it's very kind. You know, I went through the police academy, made it through with colors, and I was a cop for a while. But it didn't work out. You know, the system was keeping me down. The system's broken, basically, and well, I can help more people if I'm out here on my own.
I see.
I think that makes sense.
It does. I'm very familiar with broken systems, and I've seen some of the harm that they can do. If you're still willing to work for me and with me, I need these retrieved. If we don't find them, more people could get hurt. I don't work for a good person. I'm not a good person myself. But regardless, the money's green, and it's yours.
Well, it's my landlord's. But yeah,
We
sounds
still
like
have
a
a deal?
plan.
Okay.
I think we do.
All right. Let's do this as cleanly as possible. Let's take as few risks as we can, and let's hope we can all get out of this alive. All right, let's have a look at these plans.
All right. A couple of hours are going to pass. You will be able to go through all the documents that you have. You will be able to complete the treatment, and eventually you will rally downstairs and you'll be able to have a chat through everything. Just before I give you the full scope of the information, Ethel, after all the procedure is done, do you want to describe your appearance and demeanor a little bit?
The after the surgery is expertly completed by Dr. Smythe. Ethel probably takes a quick nap, if I'm being honest. But not for a particularly long time. You know, an hour or so passes. She has a swig of truly god awful but very necessary whiskey, and then, with the assistance of Dr. Smythe, makes her way back up the stairs, although she doesn't actually need that much assistance, and it's a little bit unusual. Dr. Smythe has clearly done something. She looks like she's in pain, but not too much. Superficial pain. The kind that goes away fairly swiftly, and though maybe comes back fairly swiftly. But her jaw is set in in a very, very straight line. She's thin-lipped, bit pale, bit of a flop sweat going on. Probably wearing a massive bathrobe or something, because you would have had to cut through almost all of her clothes together. So she probably just did this, I'd say, like a big pink fluffy bathrobe. And you can see like bits and pieces of dark stitching and puckered scars, and Ethel comes up the stairs into the home and gets into the kind of helps herself into the kitchen and kind of working at the back of her mouth and walks past the two of you. I think
Where'd that bathrobe come from?
It was my mother's.
Are you all right, Miss Walters?
Better than I have any right to be, if I'm being honest with you. Hang on. And she kind of reaches back into the back of her jaw and pulls out a molar.
Oh.
And then just shuffles over to the sink and spits a big stream of blood into the sink. That was it.
Better out than in.
Exactly. Mandy, I gotta thank you. I was a goner there, and you could have run and you didn't. I don't know if it was the right choice, or it was definitely not a smart choice, but wouldn't be alive without the good doctor, obviously, but wouldn't be alive without you either. Thank you.
Well, I got a pretty good feeling you would have done the same for me. So let's just keep that up, all right?
Okay.
Yeah. I reckon I got a little bit left in the tank. Hey, has anyone got like a crowbar or a baseball bat? I think next time I might hit it with something other than my fists.
Well, beyond that, you have a bunch of military-grade equipment.
Oh, I got a bunch of military-grade equipment.
I don't know about, so.
So speaking of which, let me give you the full details on everything. Between the safe and the information that was contained at Carl Mann's house, you have a lot of very critical information. You have correspondence between these two parts of the cult. You have all of the most serious arcane, like, tomes and journals and bits of spooky mythos information that was contained inside the safe. You have with you legal documentation. You have with you maps, plans, logistics, all kinds of details about this upcoming ritual. Here is the situation as it stands. The Society of the Angelic Ones has been operating in Los Angeles for a long time. You know, they've only really been exploding recently after they built their large temple. They have been consistently working in the shadows for a couple of decades, building up their strength and always searching for more evidence of the mythos, more connection to the dark gods that they worship. Eventually, they came into contact with a separate group of Deep Ones that was led by Carl and supposedly his brother as well. Reading about this, Miss Beasley, you will note with surprise that it appears that Carl's brother is working undercover within the Lombardo crime family. So you immediately go, huh.
Do I think back to that guy on our team that looks a bit like a salmon? Like, is there a...
So he is a Deep One hybrid, so he can still fake being human. But you immediately go, yeah, Doug. Yeah, I know Doug. Doug's really friggin' weird.
Is his surname also Man?
Yeah, it is. Should
have put that together in hindsight.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, Man is actually a name that people have, but yes, you're right. You not a very high up ranked person. They're just like a longshoreman who works inside the factory.
Well, it's pretty cooked though, because that's probably the one that betrayed us and got all those people killed and got my stuff stolen. Where's he operate out of?
I mean, you don't know where his house is. You just know that he works for Lombardo.
But do I run in similar circles? Like I know where.
He is his normal day job would be that he works at Lombardo's shipping factory, which is where the raid occurred, the attack occurred, and he stacks shelves and does work like that. So you usually you're not on the floor of the factory stacking shelves. Normally you have kind of more of that sort of fixer role, but you're definitely aware of him.
Okay.
When the Society of the Angelic Ones found out about the Deep Ones, they tried to work together pretty closely, and things seemed to be going very, very well from the perspective of the church. The Deep Ones were not so happy. They didn't like the church. They didn't like how these humans were getting involved. And eventually, at first they were like, oh, well, we'll exploit them for benefits. We'll say that we're close to, the elder gods and get them to give us things like money and beach houses and things like that. But eventually, Wilma Cartwright, the head of the Society of Angelic Ones, revealed that she is planning this grand ritual where she is hoping to communicate with a significant, powerful being that she thinks is outside, buried deep underground within the Los Angeles forests. And this was too much for the Deep Ones. And amongst their plans, which are the same plans for organizing the ritual, you find that they were planning to attack the ritual and basically interrupt it midway through, releasing the beast while Wilma was communicating with it and causing untold disaster. It probably would have rampaged down and hit Los Angeles if you had to guess. And this is something that you will talk about extensively with the other investigators because you don't have personal mythos experience. So this is at the end of end of going through all the details.
just to restate, make sure I'm following, because I'm not very good at following these things.
No, it's complicated. You've found a motherload of information. Yes.
The angelic ones are trying to dig a monster out of the dirt, out of the earth.
Yeah, they try to communicate with it. They have a ritual that they're going to do.
Ones are planning to come in and spoil the plan.
Yes, but they were planning to come in and spoil the plan in a way.
This big kaiju coming down and kicking the shit out of LA.
Right, yeah. But just to be
Which
clear,
does sound sweet, but we should probably stop.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Well, here's the good news. You kind of have. Carl Mann was central to the plan. There is not a whole lot of deep ones. They had planned a very surgical strike, which is why they were working so closely with the cult. They couldn't just roll in. So yeah, you've kind of avoided the super bad ending. Good news there. But Wilma Cartwright's plan is still very much in place. Putting the documentation from the deep ones aside, you go more in detail about what the cult is planning to do. They have this whole area set up at the edge of Los Angeles, at the edge of Angeles National Forest. They are going to shut down the whole area. They are going to use their connections within the police to be able to turn people back and keep them away from the site. Mandy, you see the name Sheriff Clark Moore mentioned several times. You know he is a relatively high up guy, and he has the pull to be able to, basically shut down an area, stop anyone from being able to get close. They have about 25 to 50 people who are going to be descending on this ritual site, and they are going to, over the course of the day, set up this grand ceremony. Then eventually Wilma and her daughter, Elise Cartwright, are going to take a collection of kidnapped victims, sacrificial victims, who are being held temporarily in a purchased gas station not far from the ritual site, and they're going to take them in and they're going to sacrifice them, and that will bring forward the beast.
I totally forgot about the lady at the church who helped me, and I thought I was going to rescue.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. She was a little stressed, so she had a small conversation with you.
Yeah, I thought I was going to rescue her, but then I got so excited about finding the safe. I think that blasted any memory of her out of my brain.
Well, a rescue would have been a very involved process. So darting away is not necessarily bad. Did you want to say something?
Yes. You said, is the ritual possible without mass sacrifice?
Do you want to make an occult check?
Certainly. Success.
Okay. So it is. With the less sacrifices there are, the more exceedingly unlikely it is to succeed, and the more catastrophically high the chance of devastating failure for the cultists is.
Great. So
is devastating failure the same thing comes up and eats everyone situation?
It could be, maybe, but with just a regular success, you're not sure. Basically, the sacrifices are meant to be a gift to the being that is lingering below. If the sacrifices are enough to wake it, but not enough to please it, it might angrily lash out at those that awoke it. So whether it will go further from there, I mean, this is an inexact science. It feels a bit different, maybe, but the deep one's plan was to wait until Wilma was in the midst of communing with the beast, so like properly, speaking to it, communicating with it, and then to dart in and murder her and anger the beast and attack it and things like that, and then sprint off into the sunset.
Well, it seems reasonable then as a perhaps initial attempt at stopping the ritual. We know where all their properties are. We have the documentation, so we would know where that gas station is, and if there was some way to release the kidnapped victims, give them an avenue to escape, then even if it is only some and not all, they no longer have that part of the ritual available to them. If that does not succeed, then, well, we have to try and stop the ritual at its source, but I do rather like the idea of cutting it off at the head, if you take my meaning.
I think we've got to save as many people as possible. I mean, that's what I had to do, was find this cab driver to start with. I think we can safely say we've found him after a fashion, but I think priority one has to be save as many people as we can.
Yeah.
Between all of the surgery and the planning that you're going to have done and do this evening, I think that it's safe to say that the first time you'll be able to properly act is the following day. That means, though, you will have that full day of activities before you hit the day of the ritual.
Yeah, so it's not like we have a day, we have a night, and then we have another day, and that's the ritual, or do we have a day and then that's the ritual?
Yeah, we're kind of in blurry time right now, because so when you went to the House of the Deep Ones, you had all of that day and that evening, then the following day and the following evening, and then that is the day of the ritual.
Great.
Technically,
does the ritual happen during the day or at night?
It happens in the evening. So you have the full, but you can see their plans. They go in, they lock down the place, they erect the standing stones, they bring in, they do the dances. It's a long process. So functionally, once you guys get out of doing all this surgery and recovery and planning, you will have a full day and a night before the cult's activities really start, which means if you go straight to the gas station, theoretically, there should be no more activity there than is usual.
Okay.
Do I get the impression that the three of you are giving water to this contact and summoner thing? Because I'm not. I just think that they're lunatics.
Ethel, as far as Ethel's concerned, is that the contact and summon thing, don't know, don't care, blasphemy. The fact that they're doing it's enough. I think they believe it, though, and I think they've kidnapped people, and I think they're going to kill them.
Yes. That's where I'm coming from as well.
That's all that matters.
Okay.
Do you ask, or are you just trying to tell?
Impression. If I'm just following through as we're talking through the thing, do I get the sense of it's like, because from my perspective, it would be if we save all the people, then they can do whatever they want, fucking about in the woods. Yippee for them.
You would get the impression then from Dr. Smythe that there is an excited fascination.
Mm-hmm.
Take that as you will.
Concerning. Okay.
Keep in mind, I'm also the only one who read the books.
What books?
As usual.
There are a series of occult books that were recovered from the safe. These are amongst the various pieces of information that were gathered.
Okay. So, it seems that I have two priorities: save these people and get them out and locate the items that have been taken from me. I imagine that if these items are critical for whatever deviant ritual they have prepared, I'm going to need to get in there at some point. Mr. Jenkins, if you're still willing, I'll pay you to accompany me and retrieve the artifacts. Dr. Smythe and Miss Walters, the offer extends to the two of you as well. These missing people, these people being held, I consider just good work and something that should be done as honest, good people.
Well, yeah. I gotta be honest with you, Miss Beasley. If the choice is between some statues and some people, I'm probably gonna save some people.
Oh no, you misunderstand. I think the people should be saved first, and I think we should all do that as citizens of Los Angeles. I think tomorrow night, retrieving the artifacts from a bunch of madmen and women, that's paid work. Otherwise, I couldn't see myself going within a mile of it.
All right. I'm glad we're on the same page then. I think.
Do we know where those items are being kept?
So, you do not have it. There is not listed a specific location. It's like, and we're keeping all of the gear here. But that said, they very clearly state that they're going to need to, that in the logistics of the setup for the ritual itself, they are bringing in like decorations genuinely. Like one of the things you find is find an accounts list for them buying drums and things like that, so that they can properly have like some beats going during the
one
thing.
of them went to like the Halloween store and got the receipts so they can invoice it and get the money back on all the freaking pumpkins and
100%. There's like, it's very it's weirdly mundane.
Here's one, Jim. Is there a receipt for costuming, and would we know where they got it from so we could get robes of the same ilk?
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
100% yes. Yes. Okay. So
there is another avenue possibility depending. Smythe was invited to go back to the church and talk to these people and bring friends along, and who knows, maybe we could go as invited participants and or potentially sacrifices, but we have a legitimate reason to be there.
Just to throw out the very quickly, sorry to interrupt you, Alex, just to throw out the remaining leads that are sort of dangling by the side too. Obviously, you've heard the name of the sheriff, Mandy. You could go back to Clive Booker. You could try and pull on that thread. Dr. Smythe, the name Gil Donovan was mentioned, the architect of the Society of the Angelic Ones. You could try and pull on that thread again. You have information that you might decide to go to Lombardo with, Miss Beasley, or you might or you could just say, you know what, we're going to try and do this alone as quickly as we can. You've got a bunch of bags of military gear. If any of you's a crack shot with a rifle, I built the characters, so I know that you're not, but anyway.
I'm not against getting allies, or like at least throwing a wrench. So potentially trying to get allies in the mob if, someone's been fucking around,
just letting them know what's happening, what's going down,
and then potentially trying to put a wrench in there's going to be a large police presence at the ritual. Like, whether we can stop it entirely, I know not, but we could potentially make it harder for them if we can make enough of a administrative nightmare for the police department to actually get involved.
Yeah, you've even found Levi Diaz, or at least you think you have. You could go and tell Selena, where his daughter, where he is. The point is this ritual does have.
Want her to get involved. Probably pretty dangerous for her.
Exactly, it would be. But yes, probably this ritual does have between 25 to 50 people involved in it. It's a big event, and it's up to you all to figure out how and to what extent you're going to disrupt it.
Listen,
I think, Ethel's going to kind of lean over to Miss Beasley. You work for Buddy, for Sebastian Lombardo.
I do.
Right? Yeah. I'm just looking at these papers. It looks like there's going to be a lot of people there tomorrow night. The four of us are as capable as we can be, but I don't wonder if... Oh, I hate what I'm about to say. I hate it so much. Extra bodies wouldn't go astray, and I know Buddy has a lot of those these days.
I'm looking at the same papers, and while I agree, I have concerns. Firstly, I'd say I see two objectives. I see saving the people, and I see infiltrating the ritual. On these papers, I recognize some of the names. This one here, Doug, he works for Mr. Lombardo, and his name isn't real. Actually, that wouldn't be on these papers, it'd be on the deep ones one, right? Either way, Mr. Lombardo's operation may already have been infiltrated somewhat, and I think the wider we cast a net, the more likely that this gets out and that something gets leaked. Now, we can tip Lombardo himself on the night with very little time to prepare, and he might be able to send in people. But if we start asking folks to help, if we start spreading this wide, I mean, we can see they've got a sheriff in their hooks. The more people we tell, the more likely they find out that we're working against them and that we have this edge.
Well, if you recognize names on that list, then I'm inclined to agree with you. But I would like to tip Buddy off on the evening, because then anybody who is involved is unlikely to be with him, and therefore the people that he can scrounge up last minute are less likely to be. I mean, nothing's guaranteed, right? But
I completely agree. I would suggest that today we put plans together, the four of us, to rescue as many people as we can. Tomorrow, before acting, we pull whatever strings we have remaining, and then we hope that we get some support, and the four of us, or whoever's willing to attempt it, try and infiltrate the ritual incognito, secure the artifacts, disrupt it how we can, and get out alive. If there's 25 to 50 people, doesn't matter how many people we bring, folks are gonna die. Whereas if we can do it quiet like, only these cultists and their ritual stands to lose.
Well, not all of us have to be incognito. Didn't Dr. Smythe, didn't you get invited back?
I got invited to speak further to the patrons of the church. Yes, I'm not entirely sure that they would invite someone so new to their acquaintance to a ritual in the woods. However,
you could prove yourself very valuable very quickly.
And if all of their sacrifices have gone missing and you procure 3 new ones, I'm sure that'll put you in their good graces.
I'm not good at deceiving people. But I can honestly say I am curious about this ritual.
If one of us can get in legitimately, that's a failsafe against the 3 of us getting discovered sneaking in. I can deceive and I can sneak. But if on the off chance that we get caught, I mean, if you can get in welcomed and invited, then yeah, the proverbial shit hits the proverbial fan. At least somebody's in there.
They seem to be unclear of their numbers themselves. From this, it looks like there could be anywhere between 25 and 50 people. They don't have a checklist. They don't have names at the door. I imagine if we can procure costumes similar to these, if we can mention the names that we already know, I'm sure we can slip past undetected.
I agree.
I think getting in's not the problem. I think it's going to be getting out alive.
Well, as long as we can get as many people out alive as possible, then.
I'll just say one last time that you do know that the people are being held at the gas station.
Yeah. 2 different things. We're thinking gas station today, and then tomorrow ritual infiltration, whole separate thing.
Excellent.
Sorry, so just to confirm, from now, we have 48 hours before bad shit goes down. Is that correct?
Just about, yeah.
Great.
Got that. Yeah.
That's, I was going, do we have 24 hours or 48 hours from now? But if we've got 48, yes.
48 hours.
Yeah, because it's kind of evening now. I'd say we're like sitting around
36 or so, right? Like we've got the full day today, and then tomorrow things start popping off by the evening.
Because we're kind of, Ethel's not going anywhere immediately, and we're doing a plot and a plan, and then
you will begin whatever activities you decide to do in the morning. You will have all of that day, all of that evening, and then the next morning they will start to prepare the ritual, and it will kick off in the evening.
Shall we put the ritual to the side and assume we'll look at it tomorrow after dealing with the people, if that's the first priority, and we may uncover more information then?
I'm not sure how helpful I am going to be breaking and entering. It's not my strong suit. I am, however, an accomplished academic, and we have several books that detail more information about the entities that these cultists are interested in raising, and also details about rituals and sacrifices. Would it behoove the party for me to perhaps spend some time studying rather than poking my already extensive nose into where it doesn't belong?
That was a lot of words to say. I'm going to read some books.
Actually, that was a lot of words to say, should I read some books?
Yeah, go on, read some books.
Ethel's going to kind of glance over Dr. Smythe's shoulder at the titles of the books and the general vibe the books give out. Well, better you and me, Doctor. And pat him on the shoulder. I get bad vibes.
Bad vibes from patting him on the shoulder?
I don't like no from the books. I don't like those. I don't like those at all. You'll notice that Ethel's a lot more kind of warm and positively inclined towards Dr. Smythe now. Where she started kind of very like, this might be ungodly. She's now like, nope, we good.
Absolutely fair enough. Once again, the titles are...
Yeah, I've now seen ungodly. And Smythe ain't it.
Once again, the titles are evocations to Dagon, the Roulier text, and Sussex manuscript. All fantastic and wonderful things.
The Sussex manuscript just sounds kind of boring. That one.
Yeah, I imagine it's probably bound in,
that's the one that's bound in something that. Yeah, that's something that's the one that's bound in something that looks suspiciously like skin. Yeah.
Excellent. Yep.
It's got sex in it.
That's absolutely skin.
Sus sex.
It's also got man in it, so we know it's to do with deep ones.
I just want to say, in and out of character, I'm very sad that not all of the Man family have C names because the initials are perfect.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you're going to stay behind, Dr. Smythe, and you are going to start to go through these books. What you could do if you wanted is you could it will be a little more difficult, but you could still follow along with the party if you would like, and you not being around any of your supplies, being pressed, reading in an unideal environment in the back of the car. I'd still be happy for you to make a roll, but you just won't get any penalties, so you won't get any bonuses, and you won't be able to sort of leverage other resources. If you actually don't want to attend the gas station, though, you can stay behind here.
Unless the party requires my presence, I would like to be the one that reads the shit and works out what's going on, and potentially lock myself in a room on the off chance I decide that rather than reading this book, I'm going to rip my eyes out and bash my face against a wall until it starts bleeding.
Yeah, I was going to say, would it be funny if we came back and Dr. Smythe was just like batshit insane?
What's that Firefly episode where they find the dude from the ship?
Yeah, and he's just cooked. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just progressively becomes more cooked over the course of the episode. Yeah. Yeah. That is a fucked up episode.
Which one that's the one that survives the Ravages or whatever?
Yeah.
Reavers, I think.
Reavers, that's the one.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this is where Reavers come from. It's PTSD.
Yeah.
Yep. Like, they do horrible things to people, and then the people are just so fucked up that they turn themselves into Reavers and continue the cycle anew. It's messed up.
Well, hopefully the books won't do that. But they are going to be pretty nasty. Oh, yeah. Anyway. Three of you are going to head out to the gas station then in the morning of the following day.
Where is the gas? No, well, let's run today, right? If we've got 2 days.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I was still in that elastic time. Yes, you head out this morning. It is the first thing that you do after having rested, planned, and gotten together.
Do I get more life?
I think that the surgery takes the entirety of the evening. Not for this rest, but if you get a good night's sleep, you'll have another hit point.
May I, because we are in my surgery, would I have access to laudanum or other kinds of opioid-based painkillers that I can offer to Ethel as a like, this is strong and will not be good for you long term, but if you need something to blunt the remainder of the pain and you wish to move unimpeded for a short time, this may be good for you.
Oh. Bless you, doctor. And it's just gonna like tuck the bottle into it.
It is definitely like, please take this. It is a, you yeah, it's laudanum.
Yeah.
You take it.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be a bit, like, you probably won't feel some hits, and then you'll really feel the fucking hits when your brain just goes later.
Okay.
Alternatively, I probably also have cocaine, so you could have that.
Yeah.
Smorgasbord.
Something.
Nothing to do with the pain, just, you know.
Yeah, well,
Well,
it's
probably-
it's 1920s. You can buy that in a dollar store.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I would
yeah.
have cocaine, I would have heroin and or morphine. I think they've stopped
exactly.
using arsenic by this point in medicine, although
Which,
there may or may not
good.
still be mercury in some stuff. What else? There's a bunch of fun things that they used in the late 19th century. early 20th century.
I'm mentally moving down the checklist of advertiser-friendly conditions for the VOD for this. So let's Mandy, you wanted to say something.
I'd like to get one thing done. I think I'll take you up on that hook you dangled there, Jim. I'm inclined to write a note and steal some of this evidence. Not steal. Just don't mention the fact I'm taking some of it.
Yep.
To create a package that I can drop to my dear old friend, Detective Clive Booker.
Excellent. What does your note say?
I'm just going to point out, hey, check this out. First of all,
What's up with this?
I'm doing a pretty good job in the private detective industry. Look at all this stuff I got
Bit of a
done.
brag.
Check it out.
First of all, get the brag out of the way.
Absolutely. But also, look at all these innocent people here. They're going to get hurt. And you're playing by your rules in your system. You've been told that you can't do anything about this. And because of that choice you are making, these people might die. Messed up. So, hey, here's the information about these innocent people are going to die. Here's some information about the crooked sheriff, and I'm sure you know about. Here is your chance to make a different choice than you did last time.
I absolutely love it. You put this kind of pretty damning, devastating package together, leaving that last bite in there. Roll it up. You can either mail this or you can drop it off at some point. Although if you drop it off in person, it's going to get like someone's going to see you doing that effectively, unless you can find a way to sneak off.
Yeah, I'm inclined to just like get a courier or a taxi driver to just drop it off at his front door when I know he's going to see it.
That could be organized. Excellent. All right. Package sense, registered and heard. Detective Clive Booker will hear of this. Is there anything that anybody else wants to do?
Do you want to swing by Cultists R Us and get some costumes? Yeah?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a big knife. So
I would also like something blunt force trauma-y.
Fantastic. You've
like
got the
32-inch waist.
You've got the gear that I mentioned, so you can take that with you too if you would like. Heavy leather jackets, etc., etc. You've got the receipts that showed where they purchased a lot of their like cultisting equipment. So I need somebody to make a disguise check, and you can have a bonus die from that.
Anyone got
I have
above
disguise.
base? Do you actually? You champion.
I have 50 disguise.
Oh my god! Wow.
I'm gonna fit us out right. Watch
Sick.
this.
If this is the roll you stack.
Ah!
Okay, 93.
Oh, a fumble. Wait, you said bonus die? Is that what?
Yeah,
everyone's
bonus die,
looking for?
bonus die.
Oh, that die. Excellent, fantastic. Oh, 63.
13 points of luck.
Lucky 13. I got
Or
29.
you could push it.
Push it.
And if you push it, the penalty will be that when you arrive,
think we've done it?
someone's going to
We're
go,
wearing
hang on,
another Colts outfit.
It'll be a check. Someone's not going to go get him right away.
No,
But
no,
you're
not
like,
Cthulhu, Cthulga. Shit.
defund. That's not how you spell Cthulhu.
I get the impression we're going to spill over to one more session, so I've got one more chance to
That's
get
the
some
wrong
luck back.
Yep.
So I'm inclined to spend the 13 now, bring me down to 16.
Nice.
All right. bringing you down to 16 points of luck. You push, you go through and you manage to find, like literally you go over the phone book, you can't get it, but then you drive past the store. You guys can go in, you pick up all the gear that you want. You have like the same costumes that they're going to be wearing. Fantastic. Good. I love it.
Do they have like hoods in the full bit? Are we pretty anonymous?
Yeah, this is the full, like it's robes, like hooded pieces. There's also there's a lot of paints and things that they're going to be like drawing symbols on themselves with. But yeah, basically it's hooded robes.
Feels like a classic cult mistake. In my cult, we're gonna have open faces so I can identify intruders and have them thrown on the pyre ASAP.
And like a check-in list. Yeah.
Actually, I guess then the problem is
go see Marnie at the check-in table and get your badge. Yeah.
I guess then the problem is they can tell, like, there's the mayor of who gives a shit.
That's right.
There's no privacy. I mean, like that's the same way. It's like we develop secret handshakes because they're secret. Yeah, otherwise you just have regular handshakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need the privacy to get people to join.
Depending
I guess I'm going background. I guess I can say that.
Depending on how my study goes, I assume I have a chance to find out what those symbols would be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Potentially improve our disguise if I know exactly what symbols we're going to be drawing on ourselves.
That's a really good point. We'll come back to your study in just a minute, but first, the other three of you, anything else, or is it off towards the gas station?
I'll put on the outfit.
Okay.
Take it with me.
All right, you take it with you. You properly get into the full cultist robes, Miss Beasley. It's
maybe I won't.
It's real dramatic.
Maybe not right now. Maybe just bring it with you.
You know what? I'm gonna pop it on, and then we've got the option. And then you guys are normal. I'm cultist. Then I'll just stay in the car. I'll get out. I'll get changed if we need to get there. We've got one for each option.
Sure. Excellent. All right. Car takes off and is heads out towards the Angeles Forest. Dr. Smythe, what you are going to be reading through these tomes? You are going to be going over the occult aspects of all of this. Is there anything else you want to do before you sit down in your favorite reading room and start to go through things?
You mentioned Gil Donovan.
I did, yes.
And I understood that, if my memory serves, he was the architect for the church itself and has been missing for a while.
He hasn't been missing formally. He's just been missing from your life. You used to be quite close with Gil, and then he was interested in the occult. He was diving into the same circles you were, and then suddenly he dropped off the face of the earth. He severed all ties and went real quiet. But as far as you were aware, he's still alive and around.
Is there any good reason, and I'm asking this because I'm not sure if I'm missing something, but is there a reason to go find this fellow other than he made the church? Like, is there anything else that I know about his involvement from what we've discussed so far?
This is a perfect opportunity for an idea check. Why don't you make an int roll?
Sure. I'm not terrible at those.
Hard success. Okay. Well, Gil is not really an ally in terms of, like, he's not like Lombardo, who might rock up with a bunch of people with guns, who's really going to be able to help you out. But he does have a lot of information. Mm-hmm. He is an architect, so his field of expertise is going to be that building. You broke into that building, you already got to the safe, so it's probably not super useful for you to get insight from him. He's not going to be able to tell you a secret entrance or anything like that, because you've already found, the ding, the light bulb in the corner. Fantastic. I don't know if that's visible on stream, but making great use of the emoji effects. Okay, anyway, but that building, that Gaudi monstrosity, is absolutely the kind of place that would have secret rooms. And if there was secret rooms, talking to Gil would let you know how to get into them.
Right. The other question I have then is, how long am I going to need to properly look over these books? Is this a whole day kind of affair, or is it possible for me to do more than one thing? Because just looking at the length of the books and sort of the amount of study.
I mean, like some of these are proper tomes. They're formal tomes. So you could not read through them all because the time is in weeks. But in terms of just sort of like cross-referencing through them, going through stuff, you can take other minor actions. But if you want to go out and do a full thing, it is going to impact the amount of information that you can get from the books.
Nope, that's fine. I think I focus on the books is more helpful, and also talking to my companions about potential hidden rooms in a church that may or may not contain the relics, which might mean we don't have to go to the ritual site at all, is something that I'm going to have to do when they come back, because they're not here right now. So I will note that as a nifty idea, and then Smythe will potter on into his kitchen, push on a kettle, get out the fine china, which was Mother's. Hers is this beautiful kind of like bone white china with some pale pink and green flower and motifs, delightfully and decoratively painted. There's a sort of gold trim around the top of the teacup. It is incredibly delicate. There is a matching saucer, a beautiful silver spoon, and he takes the time to make himself a delightful cup of Earl Grey tea with a slice of lemon. And grab a couple of ginger snap biscuits from the cupboard, put them on the saucer, carry that into the room.
Wholesome.
And he will also put on a record as he goes, just the quiet and dulcet sounds of funeral dirges in the background.
Oh, Christ.
Reminds him of his favourite times with Ma and Pa. And will open up a book and just very delicately like sip the tea and put it back down.
Okay, brilliant.
Studies. That is the little picture you can have of Smythe as he works.
Terrifying. Make for me an occult roll, please.
No,
get another one on this. I'm going to be okay. So you sit down and you start to pore over these tomes. The problem is there is so much information and it's too fascinating. You flip to one book and there's a whole section on some, like creepy, like dissection of a bird or something. I don't know. You can't help but reread it 10 times. There is not a ton that is helpful here. You are going to have to focus. You could push this roll, and what I will do is I will give you a penalty die on the sanity check that is going to come as a result of getting any successful information. Oh, yeah. If you fail, you will still get some information, and you will still have there'll still be a penalty.
So just to check, because I know you said that I could do this outside of my study area, but I wasn't going to get any kind of bonuses for being in a comfortable space. If I'm at home, do I therefore get a bonus for being in my space? And
what I think you're going to get is extra time, effectively.
Right.
So if you look in, if you're at this stage, you're just sort of like doing a sort of generalist. I'm going to give you a bunch of information, and then there might be full threads. If you fail entirely, I'll say, okay, I'm going to jump across the others for a bit. We'll do their scene, and then we might come back to you at the end.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to push it, because fuck yeah, I want to go mad.
Fuck yeah.
Like, this character is completely fucking designed to just lose his goddamn mind. Yep. So, let's push. So, roll again. That's how this works, right? I remember this game.
Ooh. Oh, fantastic. Okay. So, reading through this, there is so much information. You start to look at all the symbols that could be applied to the clothing. You start to look at the information about the ritual and how it could be disrupted. You start to find information on the beast, and there's all kinds of different interpretations. You start the funeral dirge record ends, and you're so distracted you end up on putting like, I don't know, something cheerful on, and that deeply unsettles you. You start to feel terrible. You go back, and as you're reading, you can feel yourself getting more and more tense. The thing that finally sets you over the edge is the one piece of critical information that you find. The rituals that they are looking at are going to be quite a few people. At least 10 would be the minimum. They probably are going to have a few more than that to round out the numbers. It occurs to you when you're going through, you're thinking of them like getting rid of all of these captives, and then there's a sense of relief when you think that your friends might be able to save everybody. But it occurs to you that they will just draw from their own ranks. They are that dedicated. They are that fearful. And the thought of you being in there dressed as a cultist and then them calling you forward and using you as a sacrifice comes over you. And that is just too much. Make a sanity check for me.
Very
please,
good.
with a penalty die.
Okay.
Success for the first. Come on, just a tickle then. Just a single loss of one sanity point.
I think if I may, it's a disturbing thought, but I think what gets Smythe through this is just his unerring curiosity and fascination with the macabre. Like, he's like, yeah, that is horrifying, but it still would be interesting to see how everything plays out if I'm not one of the people in the robes.
So let's jump across to the others for a bit, and we'll come back to you again before we finish off. The three of you are driving up towards this gas station. It is about an hour and a half out of Los Angeles.
We get stuck in traffic and my hood keeps slipping down. Whenever we come up against a cop car, I just slide down in the seat.
There's one point when you're stuck on a turnoff and you kind of look out the window and there's a little kid sitting in the back seat who's looking around, sees you, starts pulling at their like mum's shoulder. He's like, not now, not that. Look.
We accelerate ahead.
Okay. It's about an hour and a half out, so it's a bit of a long trip. There's like, your car was not in great shape, as you mentioned, because you'd been living in it for a couple of days, and now there's a lot of blood on the back seat. But you know, you make do and you drive up.
I presume as it's a mob car, there's somewhere I'll just take this afterwards, and they'll get rid of the blood and everything very happily.
Yeah, but you'll take it somewhere else, and the bits of bloodstained car will be split up and put into 6 different cars across the area, and then shipped across to New York where it can't be tracked, the whole bit. The forest that you're heading towards, it covers almost 1,000 square miles. So it's huge. There's a bunch of kind of rural properties around the outside. As you start getting up into the foothills around the forest, you can immediately see that this is going to be a dangerous place. You wouldn't probably go wandering around here just by yourself. You could get set on by a bobcat or a cougar or a rattlesnake or something. Like, this is just not a really great area. It's probably sketchy. The gas station seems very, very unremarkable from the outside. It's this kind of pretty decrepit, unappealing, but just technically functional station. Okay. There's no other cars. It's down an not abandoned, but just a really, really underused side road. You pull up on this kind of dirt lot, kicking up little gravel stones. The blinds at the outside of the single story squat building are shut. There's some pumps. You're idling a little bit further away. Are you still wearing the robes, Miss Beasley?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why I would have just driven with them on in traffic and then taken them off upon arrival.
I don't know. But yeah. So it's you're sitting there. You've got your robes bundled up. From the outside, first glance, normal. What's your plan of approach?
Should we pull up and refill on gas? Just try and play it straight for as long as possible. See what happens.
I don't rightly know if you're dressed to be playing it straight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can hunker down in the back. Otherwise, we could just approach. Someone could try and sneak up. Is anyone particularly quiet?
I think I'll see if I can find a private way in.
Can we review what we know real quick?
There should be a bunch of
people being held here.
That's right.
We know how many?
It would be over 10 because they have to draw from that many. Yeah. But that information, I guess, is
I think. I guess we're just looking for any wardens. We get rid of them, and then we undo any shackles, and then everyone can make their own way, right? We're not offering to ferry people. We don't have the space.
We would have, before we arrived, had a look at this duffel bag of goodies. I suspect. What do we get?
I left things vague so that if you can understand something that would have been reasonably included amongst this, it's probably there. This is the equipment that Carl Mann purchased to provide to him and his followers so that they could most efficiently disrupt the ritual. So
which is
rifles,
kind of
heavy leather quotes, yeah.
Nice. So can we get some of those thick leather coats under
thick leather coats,
robes?
1 point of armor, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Cudgels.
Yep. You can take a large club item. That's fine.
Yeah, excellent. Is there any pistols that are better than mine?
I believe that your pistol is a pretty standard issue. They're probably the same.
All right.
You've just got a standard 22 revolver, right?
Sure.
Yep.
Any artillery?
You told me what I had last session. I didn't want.
No mortar launchers. Unfortunately not. One of the bags had a howitzer in it, but it was a bit heavy, so you didn't carry it out of the beach
That's
house.
fair enough.
Sick.
Yeah.
Tank?
This was an M1 Abrams that was on the ship, but it fell out and landed in the water.
Shit.
Now the deep ones have it.
All right.
Does that make it a submarine by default?
Nice.
I suppose so.
Should we have a drive-by and have a look at the place before we go in?
We could also, and I think, how about next we bam, 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 so it comes out?
Yeah. I definitely want a baseball bat, like a steel, like an aluminium baseball bat, like a real.
Yep, you've got it placed across your knees.
How does this sound for a shape then? I'll drive us past slowly, then deposit you two on the other side. Then I will drive past the other way and be sitting in the car. If anyone comes out, I'll get their attention and hold it for as long as possible, dressed in cultist garb. Sound like a plan?
Yeah, and if we find anyone if we look inside and they're being heavily guarded, we might need you to.
You can circle back. Well, why not? Yeah. If anything comes to it, I'll be looking at that bush over there. Make yourselves known, and I'll come over. Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I drive us slowly past and to deposit them on the other side.
What's the worst that can happen?
What's the worst?
Car drives past the outside of the gas station, old, run down, dilapidated. You stop, you drop your 2 passengers out.
Any sign of life?
Nothing that you can see initially.
Are the windows boarded up? Does it look abandoned?
No, it doesn't look abandoned, but the windows are shut. It looks closed, is what it looks. Make a spot hidden check.
3 p.m. on a Saturday? Something's afoot here. Make a spotty?
Everyone's in church.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a hard success, James.
Okay, so 2 things, a hard success. First of all, you will notice as you drive past slowly, I mean, the sound of your vehicle going by is one of the louder things in this pretty deserted area of countryside. You can see movement through the shutters. They're not like the high grade or anything like that. They're just sort of blocked like blinds, and you can see that someone is moving around inside the building. You can also see that there is an expanse behind, and you actually see like a small shack out of the back. So it looks like there's a garden area.
A lot of shack.
Drop off your passengers. You turn around, and you drive back outside. And
I drive up as if to fill the thing with gas, and I'll wait.
Okay. What are the 2 of you doing?
Our best.
Sneaking around the back.
All right.
Looking for like an employee's entrance around the back.
Sure.
Sneak. Keep an eye out for anybody who is going to cultists.
Can both of you make
stick together for now?
A stealth
yes, we're sticking
check?
Together.
Is this on the edge of like the woods, like it's trees and shit?
It's very much on the edge of the woods. Yes.
Okay, cool. Leveraging cover where we can.
Mm-hmm. It's not going to be any bonus die because they are watching. They are ready.
High five, Mandy.
All right. So here's the deal. The 2 of you start to creep along as quietly as you possibly can. There's trees and stuff around, but there's still not a good angle on the property itself. The area around it has been cleared. Just before you can get a proper view on what's happening behind, the door to the gas station opens, and a kind of thin guy wearing a big coat, very scruffy. He's got uneven stubble and greasy hair, steps out, looks around, and walks forward to the car, leans down and starts to talk to Miss Beasley inside. We'll jump back to you, Miss Beasley, in a second. But first of all, the two of you failed your stealth check. You can't break from the trees to get behind the house or get close enough to really see what's happening without pushing this roll. The penalty for pushing will be that you are spotted or detected.
We're pretty well geared up.
Yeah,
We've got backups.
I think we're okay.
Okay, so you're gonna push the roll.
I think we're pushing it.
All right, hold off for a second before you make the roll, because potentially something might happen.
We're gonna watch. Yeah, I think what we would do is watch for a second.
Yeah.
To see how that plays out with Miss Beasley.
The figure who walks towards the car, Miss Beasley, is a kid. Can't be much older than 19.
Shit.
Gets towards. Looks back and forth, leans in, chewing at his lip. As he comes towards the car and sort of leans forward, you can see that he has a gun tucked in like to his side, a little pistol thing. As he leans forward, he goes, sees you. And so before he leant forward and made the gun visible, what he would have done is he would have gone halfway across, seen that you're in robes, hesitated, then come forward, and he seems a bit different, leans over and he goes, "What? Who are you? What are you doing here?"
I'm here for a final tally. Do we have enough?
Looks back at you, frowns. Would you like to make either a disguise or a fast talk check?
I'd like to make neither, I'll be completely honest.
Okay, you can have a bonus die for the preparation that you have done, but he is not expecting this. This is out of the context of the disguise.
You know, that's fair. All right, fast talk. One of these.
Bonus die? Oh,
nice.
I'll give you the... That's not going to do it. Let's just roll a d10. Classic. Confirmed
Nice.
then. Actually, you know what? There was no way that was getting better. It would have been a fumble. So yeah, I'll take the 10.
Yep. Okay, fantastic. A hard success. Enough. I mean, we might have thought there was more coming, but yeah. Look, come, bring the car around the back. I'll talk you through it. No, come with me.
Listen, I have more preparations that need to be made, but understand there's some folks down near the beach house that have been moving around. How many do we have in here? Are there enough people to protect the hostages?
Watching it. There's just me and Harvey here.
Okay.
He's at the back watching them.
And listen, if someone comes, you ready to do what needs to be done?
He touches the gun at his side. Yeah. Can I get both of you to make a stealth check with a bonus die? Because the watcher is pretty engaged in conversation with Miss Beasley.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay.
No.
Bonus die?
Oh, extreme.
Yeah, and a success.
55. Is that a success for you?
That's a fail.
That'll be a success for me.
That's
50
not a
versus 50.
success.
Oh, well, then 1 point of
55.
luck. 55.
55
push roll.
is
no.
This is a pushed roll. I'm
I thought you said bonus
Ethel.
dice.
It is.
Oh,
it
yeah,
is,
but it's a
pushed.
bonus die on the pushed roll.
Yeah.
Because you have to push the stealth check.
And you can't lock it.
And you can't lock a push roll.
I thought it was, yeah. Oh, okay. So,
I might have been unclear on
50
that.
versus 50 is a fail.
Wait, so, yeah.
It's 55. It's 55.
It's 55 because you'd still take the first value of the so you take the tens column. Anyway,
close.
You are geared to oblivion.
I thought we did a new stealth check with a bonus dice.
When you do the bonus die, you only take the first. You only take the first number, the tens column.
Oh no,
the
but
only one that you reroll.
And also, this was a push.
Still a
for my
fail.
first stealth roll.
Yeah. Dart. So you both go darting across. Mandy, you get to the other side and you sort of like press up against the house. Halfway across, Ethel, you're in the middle of the sort of lot, and you can hear this kid talking, and he's like, "Yeah, we're ready to beat." Hey! And he yells, and he turns around, puts his hand on his weapon. We will go immediately to dexterity order.
Can I make a sleight of hand to attack? Because what I wanted to do was get him to admit that he was willing to kill to defend them, and then I was going to fucking pop him in his skull.
Cool.
So I want to try and draw. I want to draw on him and shoot him.
Yeah,
right
absolutely.
In the face.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check,
and then to see if I can treat it as I have a ready firearm and get the jump.
You can. No, what you will treat is you can treat this as a surprise, basically, completely. So you'll get a free.
I like to fumble this, drop my gun on the ground.
Here we go.
Okay, no.
Hard success. Sleight of hand. You are well and truly quick enough. So this is before he's like, yeah. He looks down. You can see your allies running. This is before he's even looked towards you. Gun comes out.
Sorry, kid. Should have joined the mob. I shoot him in the face.
Point blank range. Please take a bonus die for the attack.
Oh no. No.
That's just straight up not working today.
Oh no! Would you like to spend 40 points of luck?
And I have one shot.
The Derringer. You whip out the Derringer. Sorry, kid. Should have joined the mob. Bang! Fuck. The kid yells, jumps back. We proceed immediately to dexterity order. Could you please send your dexterities to the chat?
And I get to be a spectator.
Okay, in which case, first to act is Mandy. You can see this kid fumbling for his gun.
Have I been spotted? Or is it just,
you have not been spotted, but the kid is aware of an attack.
Get inside. Free the hostages.
I think I better get inside and free the hostages. I think is the best thing to do.
All right, you sprint inside towards the petrol station. Okay, you tear inside, through the door, burst in. It's technically a functional petrol station. There's even some like rows and shelves with very old and unappealing snacks, but it doesn't look like it sees much use. The building is dusty and mostly empty. Glancing around, you don't see any way that anyone could be in here. You immediately get that must be the shack at the back. That must be where they're kept. Right.
I attack the shack at the back.
Right. With the remainder of your turn, you dash out through the back door and you are sprinting towards the shack. When we go across to Miss Beasley.
Okay. I'm gonna floor the gas.
Okay.
Oh no!
Are you trying to hit
I can't
the kid,
shoot
or are
him
you
again.
trying to just leave?
I'll probably swing around. I'll roar away. And then begin to pivot. And so as he draws his gun, I'm barreling down on him in the vehicle.
Okay, make a drive auto check.
Sick.
Lethal, Miss Beasley.
I go, you should have joined the race car drivers.
There's some more vehicular murder for fun times.
There we go.
Nice.
Ignore the seconds. I rolled it.
Oh, well, they both succeeded. So you spin round.
Nice.
The kid tries to throw himself out of the way, but he's just... we'll see how slow he is. He gets a chance. He gets a chance.
Come on,
Let's see how he goes. Come on. Why hasn't that worked? Hey, there we go. Throws himself to the side, slams onto the ground, and staggers to his feet as you go roaring away. He spins around. Now you can see with a dodge skill of 20, his dexterity is 40, which means that Ethel, you go first.
I would. How far away am I?
You can cross to him in time. You were quite very much in the middle of the area, so you have time to get across.
Lovely. I would like to huff like a bull and charge.
All right.
Pistol better above the head the whole time. It's like, and just
You go sprinting towards him at top speed. He is going to see you coming, yell, and he tries to scramble back again and throw himself away. Another dodge. Please make for me your attack roll.
How did I argue that? So last time I almost killed Alex with this rolling, but this is the second attack I made against him this round. Will Alex get a bonus dice?
Absolutely. Yes,
please.
Yeah.
Bonus dice.
Also, the guard managed to dodge again with exactly the same roll. That is, let me just check that wasn't a... No. Okay, that was just incredibly lucky. 2 14s consecutively.
Wow, what are the odds?
So make a attack with a bonus die. You are looking for a hard success because he has succeeded to dodge.
Bonus. Oh
no.
This kid's plucky.
Swing and a miss.
swing and a miss. Throws. The kid at this point is fumbling around. He instead of going for his gun at this point, since he has somebody completely in his face, he is going to pull out this small little cudgel thing, and he swings towards you with a yell. Would you like to dodge or riposte?
Riposte.
Get his ass.
Club, here we go. Oh, not great. Okay, that's all that's needed.
Hell yeah.
So, large club is a D8, which means with an extreme success, you are not impaling with a club, but you will deal max damage for 8 plus your bonus die. So please, a D4. I think you have build 1.
Mm-hmm.
So please roll 1d4. Okay, that is still 10. The guard is going to make a con check. Staggers backwards. He has 3 hit points remaining. You can see his eyes kind of light up with terror. He does use the end of his turn to scream, Harvey! Harvey! At the top of his lungs. And at the end of the turn, you see bursting up from the shack below ground, a huge hulking figure who comes out as you're crossing towards. This fellow is build 2. Absolutely massive, Mandy.
Big boy.
Oh dear.
We go back to...
Is he big enough to avoid a gunshot?
Is he big enough to stop a bullet?
Bigger target?
We will see. Well, yeah. No, he's not. He's not high enough to give you a build bonus. No, that starts. Two above. Yep. So we go back up to the top, starting with Mandy.
I was afraid you said that. I was heading to the shack. Someone just come out of the shack. Is it fair to say he's seen me?
He sees you. You were crossing towards it at top speed.
I guess I gotta shoot him.
Okay. You're both running towards each other. You can have a bonus die here for point blank because he's a huge guy.
Right, because I'm going to wait until 1 point blank and then shoot him.
Yep, makes sense.
You are running towards each other.
Oh, not great. And...
Lucky 7. Wow. I ain't got 21 points to my name, so that's fine.
Wow.
We'll leave that as it is.
Bullet fires, whizzes over this huge guy's head, and he is going to sprint forward towards you. Sorry?
He didn't dive for cover?
He did not dive for cover.
I was about to shoot him?
He did not dive for cover. His eyes are wide and angry as we go across to Miss Beasley.
Okay, I'm going to screech the car to a stop, get out, and rush towards the shack.
Okay.
Bundling my robes up and sprinting as quickly as I can.
You screech the car around. You can get around the back of the gas station.
I park it at the front.
You park it at the front. And I was going to give you a chance to try and run over the big guy.
Yeah, I know. Well. I think if it's forest and shit, I'm not loving my numbers. Yeah, and this is our getaway. Okay.
All right. You park the car. You open the door, you leap out, and you sprint backwards towards the shack. You will come around and you will see this huge dude storming down towards Mandy. But I assume you use your full turn of movement effectively to run towards the shack. Yep. Yes. All right. Brilliant. In which case, we move straight across to Ethel. This kid is reeling, staggering backwards. Starts yelling, wait, but hasn't surrendered as such. Sort of, up to. You could try and subdue them using a fighting maneuver, or
I would. If I can see he's like a 19-year-old, I will probably. I'd like to knock him out and not kill him if that's possible. Otherwise, just subdue him. And
why don't you make a fighting maneuver check? And he's going to try and make a dodge check to get away from you. And with a major wound, I'm pretty happy for you to slam him down hard enough to kind of force another Constitution roll.
I don't think I've done a fighting maneuver check.
It's just your fighting brawl skill.
Just my brawl. Okay.
If your build's larger,
you'll
get a bogey.
He is.
I don't think I do.
No, his build is high enough to not give you a bonus die.
I don't think so. No.
Yep. Well, so he's failing his dodge. He's trying to dodge out, but you're also not succeeding.
We're just
so you're both
at
fumbling with each other, kind of rolling around, yelling. Eventually, faced with overwhelming odds, this kid is just going to flee. And since you don't have a grip on him, he runs and he breaks off into the woods. I will clarify, he could raise alarms. He could, that said, you're in the woods. It's not a fantastic area. Anyway, the big guy, on the other hand, sprints towards you, Mandy, and is going to try and you build 1 or build 2?
I am build 0.
He is going to try and make a fighting maneuver against you. He is going to grab you and he is going to pull your gun out of your hand.
Sorry, you said build 2?
He is build 2. So he is going to get a bonus die for this.
He's going to get 2, I think.
2, 2 above. You're right. He's going to get 2 bonus die for this.
Well, in that case, a bit of dodge.
Okay. All right. Make a dodge roll.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That's a 0-2.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no.
I really like that gun.
I really liked that private detective.
So he pulls your gun out of your hand entirely, and as you see, this guy is like huge, hulking, really big, bushy beard, and he says, as you kind of are suddenly staring at him face to face, he says, "Another one for the sacrifice."
Oh dear.
Oh.
It's fine. I'm not gonna.
I like this guy.
Back up to the top, Mandy. It is your turn. He has your gun
as well.
Yes.
Anyone paying attention from last week know that when Mandy was assaulted by the fish folk, he fought back with his gun, which is absolutely not allowed by the rules. We cheated. So anyone screaming at the screen, just use your gun to fight back. No, you can't do that. You've got to fight back with a fighting skill.
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much.
Anyway. He's got my gun.
He's standing in front of you, looming over you, I dare say.
And so my options are limited.
You could try and punch him.
Good one. Yeah, why not? I'm going to have a fighting maneuver to get my gun back.
Okay.
Snatch.
So to be clear, he's going to contest this and he will have 2 bonus die against you.
I'm going to hope that I'm going to do it. I'm going to hope I fumble it so that the gun accidentally goes off.
Okay.
Not have a secondary weapon on you? Like, did you not take a knife or a cudgel
That's a good
or anything?
point.
I think you have a cudgel.
You
guys
had
line
a
up.
Come on. You
I've
did
got
say you took a cudgel.
Would I have taken a second gun?
Make a luck check.
Yeah, that would have been smart.
That's fair.
I should have taken a second gun.
Yeah,
You did take a cudgel, though. I remember you saying you took a cudgel.
You should have
I do
sticky
have a
taped it to your
cudgel.
hand.
That uses my brawl.
Yeah.
Which is 50, which is not bad.
That's pretty good.
But he got 2 bonus dice.
He will not get a bonus die on the brawl. The brawl he just makes a regular check with the brawl.
You only get bonus dice for maneuvers, not for.
Yes, the bonus for being a higher build for brawl is that you are larger, so you deal more damage.
Right, and you get the for maneuvers, but not for just regular fighting back.
That's
well,
right.
In that case, I'll hit him with a stick.
Hit him with a stick.
You whip out your cudgel. You slam an attack at him.
It bounces off.
He attempts the riposte. like knights of old, your cudgels clash as we jump across to Miss Beasley.
As I close the distance, I see Mandy just lose the gun, go for the whack. I'm going to reach up and throwing the hood back. I withdraw a large hat pin holding the thing in place. I'm going to lunge at this nerd in the back of his neck.
Oh, fantastic. Now, this is the second time he's going to be attacked. He sees you heading towards him. He's going to spin about. He's going to attempt to repulse. He is going to take a penalty die.
Ha 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 ha.
So,
all
make your
according
fighting...
to plan. I have 35 in brawl. Meet your doom.
Go ahead.
God, I don't know why I keep trying that.
All right. You spin
no,
for...
that's a 2. Because that's a 10.
He has penalty. Yeah.
No.
That's
I get a bonus.
Oh, you get a bonus. Sorry.
So he gets a hard success, but I get an extreme.
Yeah.
Get that up, yeah. So that's a 4 plus a D4.
Well, and also a needle would be impaling, would it not? By definition,
yes, my build is 0. I'm adding a D4 for the impaling.
Excellent.
Just fun fact. This is something that my grandmother has done to someone that was annoying her on a train.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
Pull
my
out a hat
God.
pin and just go, no. Maybe not impale, but like that is legit a way that people used to deal with stuff.
Them things are long and sharp.
6 points of damage is pretty spectacular. It is not enough to be a major wound, but the big guy yells in pain and like it's like stuck down into his.
I lunged at the back of his. So I got him in like the muscle on his back, and I'm now holding it there as he tries to swing it. I go, Mandy, Mandy,
yelling, try to spin around, and you continue to yell, Mandy. We jump across now. Ethel, bottom of the round, just before the guards have their turn.
Look, I'm just gonna hit him with my. He hasn't thrown his gun away or anything like that, has he?
He is in full retreat. You could run after him.
Retreat? He's in retreat?
Well, he is sprinting away. Whether he comes back or not, you are not sure. But he,
look, I would like to tackle him if I can. I don't want to, like, he's running. I'm not gonna, like, murder the shit out of somebody who's a teenager who is running away. I would like to see if I could just, like, tackle him and
He's gonna make
basically time up. Do the car thing.
You can make another combat maneuver check. He is going to make a dodge check. If this fails, we are going to say he vanishes off into the woods. Yep.
It's a success.
You grab him, bundle him to the ground, hold him in place.
I think it's like a footy tackle. Like, this is a full rugby tackle, like a hop, and just at the waist, on the ground.
Slams down. He's yelling, Harvey! Harvey! Meanwhile, Harvey is trying to get you off his back. He doesn't really know what to do. So you're kind of on him. He is going to try, I think he is going to try and hit you. So he spins around and he tries to strike out at you. You haven't dealt a major wound to him. But odds have turned against him, so I think he's going to turn lethal.
Sick.
He will attack. He will attack you, Miss Beasley.
Hell yeah. So before you roll, I will dodge. So I'm going to let go of the hairpin and throw myself towards the bushes. Is he still carrying Mandy's gun?
Yes.
Okay.
But what he did is he grabbed it and then like shoved it into one of his pockets. Basically, he doesn't want it.
Fair enough.
Yep.
I'm going to dodge.
Dodge.
Hang on.
Makes a brawl check.
I'm going to spend 16
to make that a regular success as he swings around. That is going to be a hard success as you are caught in the side with this large cudgel.
Can I say, as I throw myself to the bushes, land flat, and he just rears up and like kicks down on my back?
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So he's not using a large club. Technically, they have medium clubs, which is D6, but he's built 2, which means that he has a D6 damage bonus. So this is going to be 2 D6 worth of damage to you, Miss Beasley.
Fuck me up, dude.
Kill you. I think. Wow.
You roll to the side, taking only 2 points of damage from the massive.
Leather coat,
you do work
James?
for the mob. This is probably not the first time you've had the shit kicked out of you.
Exactly, leather coat. So you only take 1 point of damage from
the ropes
massive
fall away to reveal the padding beneath. You fool!
That is incredible, Mandy.
Sick.
It's your turn.
I'll hit him again.
All right. He's going to
riposte. What's the worst that can happen? I just got to keep him busy, right?
I love this scrambling disaster fight.
Now, hold on. Miss Beasley's attacked him, and I've attacked him. Is that a
new round
type situation?
It's top of the round.
Right, so Miss Beasley.
But what you could do, Miss Beasley, if you would rather not make an attack, you could just be like you're helping, and you.
I was going to set you up if you want to go after, because we both like before him, right?
Could you not?
Yeah.
You have good sleight of hand, don't you?
Me?
No,
I could have
Suzanne.
grabbed the gun as I went past. That would have been smart.
Well, I'm just wondering whether, like, if you're going to get a bonus die on whatever you do for this round, if he's already been attacked, is that an option?
That's pretty fucking sweet.
Sorry, I'm not there.
I'd be totally happy for you to use sleight of hand in lieu of an attack as part of a combat maneuver, basically.
I think I'm after Mandy there.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mandy, you're hitting him?
Yeah.
All right.
I guess so.
Success.
It's good.
Hard success, but he's riposting, which means it comes out even. Roll you crunch, but then you slip around your club, slam into him. That is 1d8 for a heavy club.
Oh my goodness.
Get
do I have
him.
a damage bonus? I doubt it. No, I don't.
If you build 0, you do not.
1d8. Bam.
It's good.
It's good. It's
6
good.
and 8 is 14 damage.
Where's the 6 from?
From when he was stabbed by
The previous attack. The
course.
previous attack. It's just telling.
So 14 damage total. He staggers backwards. This guy was larger. The other guard would be dead, but this one is not. He's going to make a constitution check to stay conscious.
Come on.
And he's out. Your strike. What happens? What happens? What happens, Mandy? You can like a coward.
As he is turned around and kicking Miss Beasley while she's on the ground. He's gonna sneak up real quiet like and plant a cudgel on the back of his skull.
He stands up tall for a second and then like a sack of potatoes drops to the floor. The gas station falls silent. The guards have been defeated. Back in Los Angeles, you had more time. Dr. Smythe, you take another sip of tea, you turn towards your books. It is a little bit past when we would usually finish off, so we are going to end the session here. But at the top of the next session, the three of you are going to be able to head into the shack where you will find 13 people who have been imprisoned, including Levi Diaz, and you will be able to set them free. Congratulations.
Well, that's not bad.
We actually, hang on, did we actually just achieve the thing that we were hired to do? Like, we did our jobs? Is this the first time that we've just done our jobs?
Did the jobs. Quite possibly. You will have more time to research Dr. Smythe, but we will end things there for the moment. Thank you so much to everybody. Thank you all for watching. It was great to have you here. Thank you to the cast. Thank you, Art. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Jackson. Thank you, David. Remember, you can pick up Cult of Cthulhu from Chaosium.com or from your friendly local games store. And one last big thanks to Roll20 and Sirenscape, tools which we use to improve our games. We will be back next week with what will be the finale of Angel's Thirst before we return to our regularly scheduled viewing. Thanks very much, everyone.
Cracking content.